Hey guys, it's Surgeon here, and welcome to a new video. This video we're going to talk about 5 untradables that I think you should have on your account. Now I try to stay away from the pretty stereotypical ones like, fighter torso, fire cape, barrels, gloves, Avis accumulator. Try to stay away from those because everyone pretty much knows those already, so I'm not going to talk about those. These are 5 other ones that a couple of them you may have heard of before. Actually, you probably heard of all these before, but I'm kind of going into the reasoning as to why these are important, why these are good untradables to have, and why I think they should be good for your account in general. If you don't have these already, they could be goals that you could use to set yourself going forward. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning into the video. Hope you enjoy it. If you do, remember to give it a like. Remember to subscribe if you want to see more of this content, and leave me in the comment section below if you have any feedback for this video, what I could do better. If you want to see more untradable videos, if you want to see an entire list of untradables, I have a lot more untradables I can go through, trust me. But leave me in the comment section what you think of the video, and without that, let's get right into this list. Alright, first untradable I want to talk about are damaged books or god books. Now these require you to complete the Horror from the Deep quest, and when they're uncompleted, so they're just their normal damaged books, you haven't put any god pages into them, they have a +5 prayer bonus, and they're warning your offhand. Each book is assigned to a different god. So you have your Guthix book, which is Guthix, Sarah book, Saradomin, Zamorak book, Zamorak, the list goes on and on. These are helpful not only for in the earlier levels when you're trying to get an easy prayer bonus, but also when you're trying to go to Wilderness, the Wilderness God of War's dungeon, you're trying to get ecumenical keys. They're an untradable item, so they're easy to get back. And they also represent some kind of god, so you get that protection from going to the God of War's dungeon as well. And it's also just, once you complete the books, they do offer some good bonuses, like the Armadillo book is probably one of the best in slot offhands for range until you get up to a Blowpiper, until you get like a Twisted Buckler or an Odium Ward, or other offhands of that sort. But until then, a Book of Law is very good. Book of Darkness is very good until you get like a Mage's Book. A Book of Darkness costs around 1 mil, and it's probably one of the best offhand mage items you can have, besides an Arcane or a Mage's Book, so that is recommended as well. So Horror from the Deep, great quests, good rewards, and it gives you some pretty good untradables as well. Moving on to Defenders. These are offhands, they are untradable offhands, and they are one of the best offhands to have in the game when doing melee training. The reason for that is if you can look on the screen, there's actually a chart that shows you the attack bonuses, defense bonuses, strength bonuses, all that sorts of each defender, and the actual best training combination is actually a Whip and Dragon Defender, and the reason for this is because it gives you the highest attack bonus. It gives you a relatively high strength bonus, not the highest strength bonus, but in a game like RuneScape, where it's based off of purely auto attacks and no abilities being used or anything like that, you want to have the highest attack bonus so you're hitting more frequently, so you're gaining more experience. So the Defenders, what are they? The Defenders are a drop from the Cyclopes. That's actually how you say Cyclops, plural. They're a drop from the Cyclopes in the top level of the Warriors Guild. Now to get into the Warriors Guild, it is in Berthorpe, and it is to the west of the Games Room. So if you do a Berthorpe teleport with a Games Necklace, it's just to the west, and it requires a cumulative level 130 between your attack and strength. So that means that if you took your strength level and your attack level, you would need to have a total level of 130. So 65 plus 65, that's fine. You can enter the Warriors Guild. Once you have those, you can start gaining tokens by doing various activities in the Warriors Guild. This isn't a Warriors Guild guide, so I'm not going to go into it. I'm just giving you the basic rundown. But doing basic activities, you'll get tokens. Once you have accumulated at least 100 tokens, you can enter the room that has a Cyclopes in there, and then every minute you will be taken 10 tokens will be taken away from you to stay in that room. And as you kill Cyclopes, you will have a chance for those to drop. Now once you've attained the Rune Defender, in order to get the Dragon Defender, you have to go kill a higher version of the Cyclopes. They require the same amount of tokens, so they require 10 for every minute you're in there, but they are much higher level and they take a little bit longer to kill. So I would recommend, if you are just base 65, like 65 attack and strength, I'd recommend just going for Rune and then coming back to the Cyclopes, unless you have a ton of tokens or you know how to do a token trick to make sure that you don't lose any more tokens. I'd recommend getting higher stats before going for a Dragon Defender, purely because the Cyclopes that you're going to be attacking will take a long time to kill. So the next untradable is the Rune Pouch. Now this is kind of an untradable and kind of not. The actual Rune Pouch itself is untradable, but what does the Rune Pouch do? It stores up to 16,000 runes of 3 types of runes. This is really good for alking, so during Slayer you can put in your alk runes into this and save your inventory space. Magic Imbue if you're into that for efficient skilling. Farm runs if you're using Fertile Soil. I use my Rune Pouch specifically for that, and it's really just a great inventory saver in general because you can store up to 3 runes in it. Now, Like I said, this is untradable. The actual pouch itself is untradable, but the method that you can get it, you can actually trade to get there. So it's bought from the Emblem Trader in the Bounty Hunter worlds for 1.2 million points. You gather points by turning in mysterious emblems, and those can either be PK'd on Bounty Hunter worlds, or thanks to the introduction of Wilderness Slayer, they're actually dropped on Wilderness Slayer tasks from Crestelia, who's in Edgeville. If you do go through with the buying the emblems, which the mysterious emblems are tradable now, the actual translation prices, it's going to cost you about 2.5 million to get the Rune Pouch. In my opinion, if you have 2.5 million that you can spare, I would recommend getting it. A Rune Pouch is very handy. It's probably one of the best investments I made. Plus, it's also a Wilderness Hard Diary achievement as well. So the Rune Pouch, yes, it is costly if you are going through with the actual purchasing the emblems method, but it is worth it. You get to have 3 runes in there. Really good for Slayer, having law runes in there alongside having your alch runes in there. It makes it really handy for teleportation and alching. For farm runs, you can put your astrals, your natures, and your law runes in there. You pretty much have every rune you need in one inventory spot, which is nice. For magic imbue, you can put every rune you need in that pouch as well. And then if you go bossing, it's really good to be able to do potion share or alch or whatever you need to do. So Rune Pouch is overall just very general use, or generally useful, so I'd recommend getting it as an untradable. The Crystal Saw is the next on this list. It's a reward from the Eyes of Glorfree quest. Main perk of this is that it's something that you have in your inventory. It can be used as a normal saw, but the perk to it is that it will allow you to build furniture that is 3 levels higher than you. Now, this is important because with spicy stews that you get from Recipe for Disaster, you can get up to a +5 boost with the spicy stews, and this is an item that allows you to build something 3 levels higher than your current level. So if you boost to +5, you add on the 3 levels higher than that, so you can actually get a +8 boost to construction, so you can build something that's 8 levels higher than you. Now keep in mind with this that you can only use the Crystal Saw boost if the actual construction of something requires the use of a saw. So if you're doing like a spirit tree or a fairy ring in your house, obviously if you're watching this video you're probably are aware of this, but if you are trying to build one of those, they don't require a saw to be used, so you actually can't get the Crystal Saw benefit from it. So keep that in mind. You can also use a Crystal Saw to boost your construction level to like make a room that is 3 levels higher than you, obviously because you're not using a saw to construct that room. So Crystal Saw, good quest reward. Overall very good for boosting to hit those like ornate jewelry boxes, ornate pools, altars, all those fun things in your house. And finally, the last item on this list is the Family Crest Gauntlets, otherwise known as Steel Gauntlets. Now, this is a quest reward from the Family Crest quest, which is actually very difficult to say. It took me a lot of takes to get that right. But it is a reward from that, and what these will do is you can actually transform them into 3 different types of gauntlets. You can either do goldsmithing gauntlets, cooking gauntlets, or chaos gauntlets. Now, what do these do? So the goldsmithing gauntlets, they actually increase the amount of experience gained from smelting gold, 22.5 experience each to 56.2 experience each, which is a huge boost. You can also change them into cooking gauntlets, which greatly decreases the burn rate of fish when you're cooking them. This is really handy when you're cooking like swordfish, sharks, monkfish, things of that sort. Your higher level cooking that's really kind of difficult to get to a level where you won't burn it without the cooking gauntlets. So very handy for that. And finally, the chaos gauntlets, probably the most useless type of gauntlets you can use on this list, but they increase the damage done by bolt spells, which are any of the combat spells that use chaos runes. So realistically, most people are probably going to get either goldsmithing gauntlets or cooking gauntlets, and thanks to an update, there's actually a mini quest now called the Family Pest. I personally haven't done it, but it's a very short mini quest. There's a guide on it for the OS Wiki. It takes about 500k, and it basically allows you to get as many steel gauntlets as you want, so you can change them into whatever gauntlets, so you don't always have to change your cooking gauntlets into goldsmithing gauntlets and vice versa, which costs 25k each time you do it. So if you do this quest, it just allows you to have both of them on you, so you don't have to go to somewhere and change them out. But the gauntlets, if there's one thing you get on this list, this would be like the one thing I would say, because you're using it whenever you have to level up skills. It's going to be a toss-up between this or your defenders. Those two are very important, but again, cooking gauntlets, goldsmithing gauntlets, probably 2 of the best things you can use for skilling later on in this game. And with that, we are at the end of this video. Please let me know what you guys think of it in the comment section below. If you liked it, let me know. If you didn't like it, tell me why. If you want to flame me, yeah, comment section, that's what's there for. please keep the flame to a minimum. You all are very loving usually, but keep the flame to a minimum. If you did like the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more of my content, again, subscribe to the channel. The channel's been growing like ridiculously lately, so thank you so much for all the support. It's been crazy on this channel. I'm not going to hold you guys too long. I'm trying to make this video so I can go to sleep, so I can go to work the next day. But thank you all very much for watching again, and with all that being said, let's go to the end screen.